a barge. Don't see too many of these on the Erie Canal. In fact, when I was in Ilion, a barge went by and all the kids clapped and the barge operator sounded the horn. It was like a celebration. Hey everybody, Dallas here. I'm in Medina, New York with
Mary Mattingly.
Mary
Nice to meet you.
Mattingly. Thank you, nice to meet you. Mary's an artist. You might notice that we have the same hat on.
Yeah.
Erie Canal's 200. And we're sitting on a barge.
Yes, that's correct.
Right, why are we sitting on a barge, Mary?
Yeah, so we're sitting on this old barge because we're about to turn it into something called Floating Garden, which is a place where people can come and pick edible perennial foods. So it's going to be a big garden that all of these compartments will contain their own garden beds. And when you come back next year, which I hope you do, or the spring and summer,
Yep.
It'll be ready to be picked from. So
Awesome. So what's a perennial?
perennial is a plant that grows back the next year. So you don't have to replant it like an annual, like you would with a tomato or most vegetables are annuals, but there are a lot of fruits that are perennials and a lot of herbs.
Gotcha. And do you have specific things that are kind of picked out that'll be here?
Well, I'm excited to talk with more farmers in the area because I know there are a lot of orchards, and we're hoping to get some apple trees and peach trees maybe even, and persimmon. What else did I hear was growing around here? Cherry.
Cherry.
So we're looking at berries. We're looking at fruit trees right now,
And then how will it work? Like people can just come by and pick what they want?
yeah, it'll have open hours that are hopefully from dawn to dusk, sort of like any place downtown would be open, contain the same hours, and then you can just come on and you can pick whatever is available. So sometimes there will be more and sometimes there won't be that much. But,
Cool.
yeah.
It's just funny, just sitting here, just with our legs, I could feel this kind of move. I've never been really on a barge before. I would think that they're a gazillion pounds or something and wouldn't move.
Still moving.
Yeah. So how did you get this barge here?
Well, we moved it actually we tugged it from a marina in Rochester, New York. So it was on Lake Erie, and then it sort of came all the way around to Oswego and took the canal down to meet the Erie Canal, the Oswego Canal to meet the Erie Canal, and then kind of made a big circle to come here to Medina.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
And what'd you do? You have a boat and you pulled it yourself?
I wish. No, I didn't. No, we were able to, for the first leg of it, we worked with the marina to bring it all the way down the Oswego Canal. And then the New York Power Authority picked it up from Rochester at that point on the canal to bring it all the way here.
Cool.
So I think that was about maybe a day trip.
A day trip, yeah. So the Erie Canal Corporation runs the canal, but they're within the New York Power Authority now.
That's right.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's cool.
I'm still learning all of this.
Oh, that's okay. I've been writing a book on it. I would hope I would know that. Well, but that's interesting. I guess from my perspective is there's a lot of books about the political maneuvering to get the canal built and the engineering feats that it took to complete the canal, and maybe the expansion and the economic effect into the 1830s and 40s. But there's almost nothing written about the canal after 1900 and the expansion of the barge canal. So it's actually
Okay.
kinda
Why do you
hard.
think?
I think that maybe there's a sadness to the fact that it's become eclipsed. Some people attribute it to the railroads. I don't think that's really the case. To me,
Yeah.
the railroads and the canal were like two prize fighters going round after round. But
Yeah.
I think trucking killed
Okay.
it and the opening of the St. Lawrence Seaway. So now, since the 50s, really, there's no commercial traffic. The canal doesn't actually make any money. But, it would be a real shame to let, arguably the most impactful public works project in U.S. history go to waste.
Yeah.
So it keeps getting shuffled from different public authorities that have some expending money
Okay.
to kind of
steward
maintain it,
yeah.
And then that's sort of a conflict, right? Like you're the power authority or whatever, you want to do renewable energy. You want to do just energy generation,
Yeah.
you know, and now you got to take on the canal, you know, so.
Can the canal generate energy?
The canal used to generate energy. All of the locks have, well, most of the locks used to have like a power generating
That's what I
plant.
thought, yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of like analog 1950s
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
The Lock 23B in Newark, there's a guy named Floyd who is the lock tender or whatever, and they've got the old powerhouse, and he's sort of taken it upon himself to take and keep up this old machinery, and it almost functions as a museum, but you just got to go and ask Floyd
Okay.
to look
Yeah,
at it.
yeah.
You know, but it's old technology, and I think NYPA probably wants to use new technology. They don't want to implement the old stuff.
Right.
Interestingly enough, Floyd said, if you've got a lift, not all of the canals lift, not all of the locks lift you at the same height.
Okay.
Right? If it's greater than 10 feet, it uses hydroelectric power. If it's less than 10 feet, then it uses gas or
Okay.
diesel power or something. you know.
Oh my gosh.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you don't live here.
Right.
So
that's
how
right.
did this whole thing happen?
This happened because I was able to work on a project that started in 2016 called SWALE, and it was a floating food forest. So it was a larger in scale, but temporary. It was rented on a vessel that was rented, and people put plants on board, and then we would open it so people could come on and pick plants. Kind of a similar strategy, but not local plants. So that project was really about thinking through the food laws in New York City and specifically the foraging laws in New York City parks, which is about 30,000 acres of public parkland. And when you're thinking about community garden space, that equates to about 100 acres, and not everybody has access to that. So thinking through food access was really key for that project, and asking New York City parks to adopt something like this was key for that project, to think about it in the future. Here, you know, people already are doing things like this, but there are still what we would consider in the city, you know, areas where there's not access to fresh food. People call it a food desert. I
Right.
don't know if that's still a term that people use, but
Yes, it does.
and people do say that, well, there's not really a grocery store downtown in Medina, so it's also kind of relevant in that way. Although I think that there's just a lot more food production here, and tons of different ways. So
Yeah.
so the scenario is very different.
Yeah, and where was this in New York?
It moved from different piers.
Cool.
Started at Concrete Plant Park in the Bronx, and then it went to Brooklyn Bridge Park, and then Governor's Island, and then the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Not the Army Terminal. The Army Terminal, sorry.
Okay. And how would you get it from place to place?
So that was Miller's Launch was the tugboat company that we were able
Okay.
to work with.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. So here we don't know how we're going to move it really necessarily, but maybe it'll be canals.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, so it won't necessarily be permanently in Medina?
It will be for next year.
Okay.
And then after that, it will take a journey down the canal, which is going to be really exciting. We haven't planned it at all yet, though.
Sure. No, I mean, it's fascinating. I think whether I'm talking to business owners or artists or what I'm doing,
Yeah.
a lot of times just the paperwork can be kind of like almost harder than what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah, I know. This is the easy part.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Right?
Just starting it right now. I shouldn't say that yet. but-
Sure, yeah. So I looked at this barge, yesterday. I saw other people looking at it. It's not an unfamiliar sight on the Hudson or the Champlain Canal, but it is
Here.
on the Erie. And then this morning I came back and I saw Mary, like cutting wood on top or measuring stuff
Yeah.
on top. I said, okay, something's going on with this barge.
Day one of building.
Yeah. So you're an artist?
Yes.
Mary?
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm
What
an
kind
artist.
of art?
I make photographs and sculpture. So
Oh.
I think I always wanted to take photos that were unusual, and I started to make sculpture for them, and then they just got bigger and bigger, and until this I would consider a sculpture when it's done.
Oh,
that's-
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I came about doing it.
What kind of materials?
Always reclaimed materials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wood,
an inkling.
steel. Yeah.
Just because of that. I have a house,
Uh-huh.
and it's about 120 years old. And at first, I wanted to expose the brick in the downstairs. It's a two-family, and I got rid of the plaster. I didn't get rid of the plaster. I hit the plaster and it came down, and then there was all this lath.
Yes.
And my friend Sarah was helping me, and I said, "Oh, where do I get rid of this stuff?" And she said, "Why don't you just not get rid of anything?"
Keep it there.
Yeah, and so that was 5 years ago, and now since then I've
Beautiful.
really just tried to never get rid of it. You just have to pay to get rid of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Just find a use for it. So the plaster went to even out the part of the ground where it was
Smart.
uneven.
So
And
smart.
the lath, I just sanded it and stained it, and now you can hang
see
hooks
it?
from
Oh
it
my
and
gosh.
your pots and pans and stuff. So that looks
I would
cool.
love to see that.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture.
Thank you. Yeah, I really love stuff like that. I was telling you earlier that I've been between Brooklyn and Maine for the past year or so.
Yes.
And I've been seeing people as they've been renovating these old farmhouses and getting to know people there. And I met somebody who did expose that and left it there, and just you saw the plaster, and then you saw the lath, the
Yep.
lathe.
Yep.
And then you kind of saw stuff under it, but he thought, this is like an artwork here. I'm going to leave this, and then he has another piece of art next to it. But that is
Yes.
the way that he framed it out was so cool. And
Yes.
you see the old wallpaper layers. Oh, it was
Yes,
phenomenal.
that happened with me too. Some of this paint chipped off, exposing some like original, I think, paint, because it's a color blue that I could never replicate, that undulates in and out of light and dark, and some of the plaster stuck to it. So to me, it looks like looking at a map of the Grecian islands from like 1800s. It's all fade and stuff. So I had to keep that.
Yeah, that
you know.
sounds really perfect.
Yes, that's cool. So what state of the project are you in, and how, are you going to be able to get some stuff done? How far do you think
Yeah.
you'll be able to get this year?
I think this year we'll turn these into beds. The first job is making the walkway and kind of evening it out. And
Yeah.
then we'll put the beds together, which means a landfill liner in here, and then layers of a lightweight gravel type substance. Plaster would actually be great.
Yep.
And then soil, and then the plants. So that'll be all done before we overwinter it. And then when overwintering, I hope that we are able to sort of dry dock it so we can paint the underside.
Yeah. So you mean like winterize, or you mean like over the course of the winter?
Over the course of the winter, yeah, wherever it is.
Do you have any idea where you would dry dock it?
I heard there's a dry dock nearby. I don't know.
I know that the barge canal has a dry dock down by Lock 23, or so that might be like
Okay.
50 miles.
Okay.
Maybe you could get
Yeah, maybe.
some help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has this been in the water in the winter?
Yeah,
before?
it's always been in fresh water, so it's been and it was spec'd out to be about a 1/4 inch everywhere, so it doesn't have any pocks it's good quality.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what year this is?
The last people got in the 80s, and they said they were estimating that it was from the 50s,
Okay.
but they don't know for sure.
And what did this barge carry?
It was always used for dredging. So
Dredging.
it dredged out a local pier so people could dock their deeper boats.
Gotcha. Because of the sediment.
Yeah.
So you put some dirt back in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's true. So what I see Mary's doing today is basically putting 2x12s of treated wood or whatever along the way for a walkway. So that's cool. Any insurance issues? Do you have to get insurance?
Oh,
for this?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you go about that? I can't imagine you walk in your local office and they say, "Oh, okay."
You go to a barge broker for barge insurance.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if that's like excess line insurance? It can't be a common thing, right? It's got to be.
I don't think it's a common thing. Yeah.
Where'd you go to a barge broker?
In New Jersey.
In New Jersey. Okay, yes. Okay, so that'd be excess line insurance. Got it.
Okay.
Interesting. Because years ago, 10, 15 years ago, somebody had gotten a sailboat and they were trying to bring food down to New York from Vermont.
Yeah, I heard about this.
You remember this?
Yeah.
But the insurance was like $20,000
Okay. Okay.
a year because there was no claims history to base
Okay. Wow.
what a loss would be. So they just have to price it way up.
Yep.
You know, so that's interesting.
Yeah, we're familiar with those costs in the,
I
in the
imagine.
public vessel barge world.
Right, and you're able to do this because of a grant.
Yes. Yeah. So a few different grants over the years, with the knowledge that this wouldn't cover it, but it would get us started. And right now we're still paying off the full price of the barge. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you say we, do you have an LLC or?
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Do you have any volunteers or any like events, fundraising things coming up?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a couple of volunteer weekends here this So the first one is on Sunday, next Sunday.
Oh, okay, so a week from today. Okay.
And then every other week there'll be volunteer weekends.
All right. Well, I'll see if I can get some friends to
Thank
come
you.
out. And help
That would
you.
be amazing.
Yeah, no problem.
That would be so cool.
And what kind of work though would they be doing?
We would be planting, hopefully at that
Planting.
point.
Okay. And what about materials? I think you said you might need some
Yeah.
materials here.
We do need, we still need to get soil, landfill liner, 55 or 20 gallon drums is an ideal size for here. And, you know, we're still looking for wood, certainly.
Yep.
Plants?
Plants
is probably the best
Sure.
thing that people could do.
Well, I'm just thinking in the in the near term, if this video goes up in this next week or something, and just have anybody happens to have any of these things, in this area.
We are looking for lightweight gravel. That's a big thing. And then also mulch.
Mulch.
Besides plants.
Okay. Besides plants, just mulch. What does that mean?
And plants, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah, so edible perennial plants,
Okay.
fruits, stuff
Oh,
like
I
that.
see. I see. Oh, yes, I see what you're saying. So we're about to be in falling leaves
Yeah.
season. Can you use that for mulch? I mean, it seems like that's going to be all over the place.
We could, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Because then I would think the municipalities is going to be picking up.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that is a last minute thing we could probably
Yeah.
find.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you need to have the soil in this year, or can that go next year?
We want to do it this year and get the plants in this year so the roots start to get established over the winter.
Okay.
You know, any plant that can do well going into the winter, that's what we want to plant this year.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And do you have any, like a website or something, if people wanted to reach out to you directly because they have some of this stuff?
There is a website for, this is called Floating Garden, but the website is still SWALE, swalenyc.org.
Okay.
So it needs to be updated.
SWALE?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
nyc.org. Great. Terrific. Well,
Thanks.
anything
Thank
else
you.
that you want to say?
No, just say it's really nice to meet you. And
Yes,
I
it
look
was.
forward to reading your book.
Oh, terrific. Yes, thank you very much. So, yeah, go check out that website. And hey, if anybody, because a bunch of people have been following this that are around, and if you got any materials, just reach out to
Yeah.
Mary or reach out to me, and I'll reach out to Mary. So have a good afternoon, everybody.